I do have, before we move on, I have a question, I guess, for both of you. Because both of you have studied, and both of you are, I would assume, like more aware of your feelings and coping mechanisms than like me or Jesse, right? Well, I was, you know,
he's like, actually,
us two dummies over here, the stupids on the left side of the room. So when you guys are, let's say, having those moments where things are like emotional or things are like heavy, right? Do you ever get in your own head where you're like, oh, you need to stop that shit? Or is it like, okay, I'm just going to feel this just like I normally would, and then I'm going to deal with it? Or are you like analyzing your own self, saying like, why the fuck are you doing this so long? What the hell is happening? Blah, blah, blah.
So I kind of joked about this, but it's like, it is true. Like my inner voice, I kind of feel like I have, it's like, I don't know if it's because I grew up in the 90s, but like I shit talk myself like into doing stuff. Like, you know, and I like to think that, or like, I would never speak to anyone else this way. And I've gotten a little bit better on like how, like, you know, things I'd say to myself, but like for the most part, it like motivates me to like to do something or get out, or like even if I am like being like kind of mean in my own head, it's usually kind of like guiding me or like pushing me to be like, why do you feel like this then?
Yeah. Or
like, why is this bothering you so much? Like that, like for me, that's a big one. Why do you care about this so much? Why is this bothering you?
Yeah.
So like, I don't know. I guess it's me.
First thing, that's so real. And actually, on the Souly Human podcast, at the end, I try and say, please be empathetic with yourself this week, because because I would say most of the time we would never talk to someone we love the way we talk to ourselves.
True.
For that reason.
Facts.
For that reason. So that's really real. The inner, I feel like we're the meanest to ourselves sometimes. So I think that everything you said, all of it, I do all of it. I think as a therapist, I've talked with adults on how to work through their stuff, and I've talked with kids on how to work through their stuff. And then it's like, I made a video about this recently because it's like a bunch of different things in my head at the same time, right? So I'm like, one, there's the version of me that has done a lot of healing, and so I'm trying to be nicer to myself. So I'm like, Jasmine, this is normal. It's okay. You're allowed to feel this. You're allowed to feel that. And then there's the other part of me that I had to grow out of, which is like, shut the fuck up. Like, it's not that fucking serious. You didn't have to do all that, and it's not this, and you don't need to be responding this way. Just drop it and move on.
Yeah, relax, Naomi.
Yeah,
Shit.
relax, chill out. And then there's the therapist, which is like, Jasmine, if you trace back your thoughts, you'll be able to understand why you're feeling this way, and then you can respond differently. And then he goes through like a whole cycle. So all of it, any of it, sometimes none of it.
It's almost like worse because you're like, in a way you know better.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. You definitely, I'm definitely aware, I would say a lot of the time, but sometimes that's worse because there's a name for that. We call it, damn.
Yeah, that's usually what I call it too.
I don't remember the term, but instead of like experiencing things, you're conceptualizing things. So because I'm aware of it, I'm like analyzing this and I'm going through the analysis process, and so I'm having an understanding, but I'm not actually feeling.
You're not feeling what you need to feel.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay.
And so the awareness, you could play yourself really easily because you think being aware of something means you're good and you can move on, but it's not the awareness of something that makes it that does the healing or helps you experience it. It's just experiencing it. So it's kind of like the why doesn't matter, and it's kind of the how and when doesn't matter. It's the fact that I'm currently experiencing this, and then that's okay, and that's it. And I think as adults, it's hard when we can't rationalize something, right? We feel the need in order for something to make sense to us, then it becomes easier to kind of just be in it. But even then, it's like, that's where the awareness will get you. And so I've seen a lot of videos and read stuff where it's like, In therapy, some of the clients that have the most difficulty are those that are like hyper aware of everything because they just have difficulty with the somatic part, the feeling part.
I feel like that's me.
It's possible.
That's probably
It's
me.
possible. It's me as well.